Believe it or not, it's the final game of the regular season. Garden City and Wantagh locking horns in the final game of a 3-game set. MSG Varsity presents Game Time on Long Island. Today we're at the home of the Warriors on the south shore of Nassau County for a Conference A1 matchup with Wantagh hosting Garden City. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Carl Reuter, joined by Greg Sarah. Greg, this is a Wantagh team that has locked up the #1 seed heading into the postseason. It's a Wantagh team that has won the first 2 games of this season, of this series, I should say. What's at stake now for Garden City?
You know, for Garden City, this means everything. It's a huge game. 3rd game in the series. Lost a heartbreaker in Game 2. We're up by 4 runs. Gave the game away. Lost 6-5. Tough game, but talked to Coach Richie Smith. I said, look, how important is this game? He says, look, we need to win this game so we can get into the double elimination bracket. So it means everything for them in the final game of the regular season.
Possibility exists that Wantagh could face either Seaford or this same Garden City team. Now, speaking of Garden City, he'll be pitching today, but he's also one of the best hitters on this team, maybe one of the best in Nassau County, Corey Fallon.
You know, you look at Corey Fallon, and the first thing you say is he's the guy that drives in all the runs. He's had more than 25 RBIs this year, Carl. He's a clutch hitter. He's a big-time gap hitter, but they're going to rely on him on the mound. This is going to be about how he throws strikes, lets the defense play, mixes it up, doesn't get himself in trouble, and he's the big guy right now. The key to them getting back into the playoffs in double elimination. It's a big game for Corey Fallon.
Of those 5 home runs, 3 a school record earlier this year against Great Neck North. Now, when you talk about table setters, is there a better table setter in Nassau County for this #1 team ranked by you on Long Island than Mike Stack, the senior shortstop?
You know, and deservedly so. They're #1. They find a way to win, but Mike Stack is the catalyst of this team. The leadoff guy, he's got 8 stolen bases already, Carl. He hasn't been caught on the bases. Remember, he was an outstanding football player, too. Suffered a broken leg, missed most of the football season, was injured against Elmont, but there's a guy who gets the offense going. Love the way he dragged bunts. I watched him in BP earlier today. He can swing it to all fields. He's got a great attitude. This is a big-time player for Wantagh.
So it's Wantagh and Garden City in the final game of the regular season. The playoffs begin this Saturday. Wantagh will be hosting who? They don't know. We'll come back. We'll have the starting lineups, the first pitch, right after this timeout. Welcome back to Wantagh High School. Carl Reuter along with Greg Sarah. Senior day here, Greg. Final regular season game of 2013. Parents came out, moms, whatever dads were able to get off of work. And nice little tribute here. Keith Sachs and his assistant coach, Mike Ninavaji, handing out roses. The athletic director here, Jen Keene, also. A nice little tribute to, well, they're playing their final regular season game here before they go off and graduate next month.
And you call it a touch of class because without the parents, where would the players be?
100%. As you look at the home plate umpire there, that is Ed Sullivan. Bob Player is on his left. There's Rich Smith, the Garden City head coach, and Richie Smith, his 41st year as the head coach, graduated East Meadow High School back in 1960. Over 600 career wins. Number 600 came a couple of years ago in the playoffs against Mineola. As we take a look at the Trojans, come with a mark of 14-4 overall, 12-4 in League One, and you'll see it's Andrew Labasso, Couchy, and Bowles. There's Corey Fallon, who'll be on the rubber, but he's got quite the stick. TJ Palin at first base, Tom Zwicky, Christian Capozzi, Kyle Ritchie will patrol center field, and Matteo Latanzio, the right-handed hitting shortstop, who's really not a number 9 hitter. They flipped that lineup, Greg. He's like a number 1 hitter on the bottom of the lineup.
Well, Carl, you're right. You like to have a guy at the bottom of the order that can run a little bit, and he can do that. And it's better for them. They can flip that lineup and get to the top, move people around, and work that. You don't want a guy at the bottom of the lineup that can't run.
This a Garden City team, Greg, as I mentioned, only 4 losses on the season. As you look at Keith Sachs, now in his 20th year as the head coach of the Wantagh Warriors, a 1983 graduate from Calhoun High School, played for Joe Correa, who's still coaching over at Calhoun, now in his 42nd year. So I would say that Richie Smith and, of course, Joe Correa are the longest-running guys as far as head coaches, the tenure here in Nassau County.
Carl, another beautiful day here on the South Shore. Would you consider Wantagh the South Shore?
Yeah, because Wantagh Parkway is just to our right, and 6 miles down is Jones Beach.
Okay.
So,
well, this is the gateway to Jones Beach.
The gateway to Jones Beach. The one thing about this field, and having been here and played here a long time ago, this field is always windy. The wind blows in. It's beautiful now, probably 68 degrees, but by the third inning, don't be surprised if it's 50 degrees.
I'm surprised you didn't say bring the big coats.
I should have said bring the big coats. We're right behind, Jerusalem Avenue, already backing up, rush hour traffic behind us there. As you look at the starting pitcher for the Wantor Warriors, and it's Mike Devanzo, and 5-0 on the season, Greg. Microscopic with the ERA and a lot of strikeouts in innings pitched.
He's going to be he's the guy that not a big strikeout pitcher, okay? He almost averages 1 inning, but he's the ground ball guy. You got to play good defense behind him. Devanzo's had a spectacular season. One of the key reasons why the Warriors are undefeated. But what Keith Sachs likes most about him is he's got great rhythm, keeps the game moving, gets good flow, defense stays in the game. Going to get the big out when he needs it, but he's a guy that may go through the game and throw only 70 pitches, Carl, which is pretty outstanding. We've seen some guys this year who are strikeout pitches, pitch counts climbing into the 100 area.
He's only walked 3 hitters all season long as you look at Keith Sachs.